Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Syntext Live. I hope you're doing good. I myself am fucking exhausted. I know I shouldn't curse this early in the live stream, but my God, guys, I'll tell you what, crawling around in the dirt in the garden for a couple days straight will just burn you out. I will tell you that straight up. So, first things first, thank you everybody for being here. I got a few things to put out, but first, I'm trying to burn up that first 30 seconds so more people can actually get in here. And here we go.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
All systems are not nominal where I am because, like I said, I am freaking spent. Anyway, sorry about the lack of content over the past week, guys. Like I said, it's just been so busy. As you can see, I barely got everything set up in time. It is what it is. But because of that, I do have to say that because of that, I have to wait for my soundboard to actually kick in like it's supposed to. Come on, you piece of shit. Not you guys, me. I'm having trouble with this. Come on, work. Ugh. I don't know what it is with the soundboard.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I swear to God, I'm not trying to make that as a running gag. It's just going up. First one's MTF Guard with a $10 super chat. It says, weekly paycheck, my friend. Hope you liked all the stuff I sent last week and the week before through Gmail. And I'll be uploading a whole bunch of stuff here soon there, Guard. Not going to lay into that too much. Like I said, I just haven't. Guys, you're getting ahead of me here. With Doug Scarborough, and he's saying down in the dumps today himself. And, you know, it is what it is. And let me write this down. All right. I may be writing these down, but I do have to let you guys know that because I've been so late on getting everything lined up as far as content out, the shout outs from last week will continue through this week, at least until through Saturday. Just because, again, I haven't got enough stuff out, so the full week is going to be, Guard and Douglas have already got theirs in, so there's that. But again, I don't want to be the guy who promises one thing and doesn't deliver. I make up when I screw up, and here's just the way it is. So before my throat runs dry, let me pop a top here because I really need a drink. And even Erica's jumping in. Okay. Someone who is, again, so outrageous that she has red hair that's apparently highlighted with black hair. So I don't know. Maybe I misread your comment in the comment section before, Erica, but thank you very much. You, Douglas, MTF Guard, everybody, and thank you again for being here. So before I get too deep into the woods here, I do have to say on Wednesdays is when I go check the P.O. box. One of you, I won't mention who because I'm nicer than that. Unless you guys want me to say who it is, and hopefully he comes in. I believe I see them in the chat right now. And dummy that I was, I left my knife in the other room because it got covered in mud as I was working in the garden. So, first time I've ever done this, guys. I actually opened a package from you guys on here. And boy, that tape is tough. Again, I'm using a key, not an actual knife here, so it is what it is. Come on, you pain in the ass. Maybe I should use this key. It's sharper. Oh yeah, a lot sharper. I have a feeling I know what's in here. Yes, I do. And if you're watching, yes, that is a friend of mine going down out the back there. Let me see here. Okay. Clever. A box in a box. Are you trying to tell me something? It's wrapped up with a whole lot of plastic here, so I'm working with it. And I see some sort of symbol on there. I don't know what's going on here. Boy, what do you use? The whole roll on here? What the hell? Only a little bit, Leonid. Only because somebody decided to send me something. Oh, you got to be shitting me, dude. You kidding? I should be calling you Butch, giving your last name, but I'm pretty sure you've actually heard enough of that. You guys are fucking awesome. That's fucking wow. Just seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This will actually help out a lot because I have a lot of trouble with the adjusting of the audio during the videos because the way my setup is. Dude, I don't know what to say. I'm put back. I'm amazed. And hopefully I can't even pull it out. Oh, it's still taped up. Anyways, I'll have to pull this out later and look it over again. I appreciate you. Well, I'm glad that. Thank you. That's all I can say is thank you. Cheers. Honestly, when I felt the weight, I actually got a shot glass out because I thought you guys had sent me booze. But I don't really drink, so it is what it is on that. I can almost get that out again. It's taped in, but thank you so much. I very, 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 very much appreciate that. It might take me a little bit to learn how to use it, but it will definitely help. I very much appreciate that. I cannot thank you guys enough for just being here, for sending this stuff, for hitting the likes, just enjoying what we got. And for the love of God, sending me critiques so that I can actually do something that will be up your area. By the way, I'm going to hit one of these, and I actually did a hat tip what you guys were doing during the live stream, and apparently nobody in the comment section mentioned it. But when I do, you guys are going to be like, oh, son of a bitch. And you're going to put a whole bunch of emoticons over here in the chat box. So sorry, guys. I'm amazingly thirsty. So let me get, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time. My notes are very sparse this week. Very, very sparse. I was looking into dirty humans. And I don't mean you and me, maybe me, but not you guys. Definitely not you guys. And pretty much the consensus was, if you're not fighting dirty, you're not fighting to win, which is true. You don't fight fair. When it comes to life and death, you don't fight fair. And I will say this. I don't know if you guys remember, but the symbol that was constantly on the side here, and I have to pause because SS Demon is actually here. Thank you very much with a $10 singing thing there. I'm assuming that's a foxy. It's not quite a kitsune, but yep. And I appreciate that very much, Demon. Very, very much. You, Erica, Douglas, MTF Guard, everybody else. But it's the story's been out for a few days, so there's no real spoilers here. When they drop these grain silos full of corn, you guys do realize that they just crushed a couple ships with popcorn, right? You heard with killing with kindness, they killed them with popcorn. That was the whole thing. And I was like, and that was it. You guys inspired that whole section. I was like, how am I going to get this to work? How is something going to be that dirty, that slick? And then I didn't even think about grain silos until I saw the whole thing. I'm like, you guys didn't see, but I was jotting notes while we were going through. So you guys actually inspired that one. So thank you for that. Made things a little bit easier. I will say this. When I did frequency healing, episode 2, you guys know I don't usually do the series so much, but I'll get into that in a second. But what had happened is I had a really bad case of writer's block hit me all of a sudden, and I couldn't get anything out. However, I had all the notes for that one. But like I said in the initial part of the video, I went over the notes to prep for everything. And I was like, why am I saying the same thing 6 times? I probably said the same thing 3 times while I was just going off the cuff. But I mean, what can you do? It's just, whenever you try and, do things off the cuff like that, there's always going to be repeats. I do apologize if that was too much for you, but it is what it is. And I tried to hit something on this soundboard and it's not working. I think one of the reasons is I I swear to God, I'm not timing that. Anyways, yeah. Sorry, that kind of pulled me off my train of thought. Anyway, I needed something. I had it. I went with it. So there was a few things in there. Now, one person said, "Oh, we're here for a conspiracy theory." Try conspiracy fact. There are. I mean, I just did an image search and I was finding stuff that was proving this. So it is what it is on that. And besides, science fiction is only science fiction for so long. Words I've lived by for a long time. Just like you can see the resonance patterns in the sand. Everybody's done that. I've done that a few times. And yes, I did look where some of the holy music there does actually do actual basically pictures of the cross and everything like that. And I'm just like, that's wow. That'll surprise the crap out of you. However, I do have to say this. Most buildings that are being used as cathedrals nowadays, like the really old ones, have very, very strong Tartarian influence, if not built by them. It's pretty obvious because there was a very strict style that was done that way. I mean, you can see it all over the world. It's not just them. I mean, it's all over. But anyways, somebody mentioned that when the technology is finally released, as far as for medical and personal use, that it's going to be really expensive when it first comes out. I look at it like the DVD players. They were super expensive for like a year or two, and then after that, the price just fell through the floor. And pretty soon, people found out that there was an easier way to do it. Instead of DVDs, you could just upload stuff and then, have it on a thumb drive. And those that basically wanted to sit there and say, "Oh, well, we'll make a lot of money on DVDs," you just can't. I swear to God, this soundboard. I swear. Oh, I just hit it too. It was supposed to do you played yourself thing, and it's probably going to kick in. I can hear my computer winding up, and why it winds down, I don't know. It's like I got to constantly type on it or something. So, anyway, but you are right. The price is going to be there pretty high and then down. Let's see. And there wasn't much. There wasn't much as far as frequency healing in the comments section. Now, I have to go through this one. The one that said humans fight in cadence. This was a request by one of you to do stories that were based off military cadences. The cadence there, I even put it in the not the comments, the description, was a link to a video that actually did the whole thing. The guy was actually walking and doing it. However, it was so low, even I had to crank this thing up at least 300 times what I normally have it just to hear it. So, and yeah, if you want to know the actual cadence, it goes like this. And fair warning, every time I say a line, there's supposed to be a repeat. There's also a certain step that's supposed to be done. I'm going to skip that part. So it goes, a yellow bird with a yellow bill was sitting on my windowsill. I let him in with a piece of bread, and then I smashed his little head. The moral of the story is clear. If you want some head, you need some bread. There you go. Now, there's about 6 or 7 different ways of doing that cadence. One is extremely long because there's 3 stanzas to it. However, that's the only one I went by. And if you actually listen close to the story, yes, there was lured him in, piece of bread, and then it smashed his little head. Then he actually did the line. So, it is what it is. And you get one of those if you just understood it. However, apparently the final joke either worked for you guys or didn't. So I don't know. That one just came in off the cuff. I was like, how can I end this on a little bit of a higher note besides just blowing stuff with a grenade? And then I was like, just like when the guy threw a baseball and it hit a pigeon, that's a foul ball. If you don't know about that video, yes, it's easy to find on YouTube. It might be age restricted. I don't know. But the guy threw a fastball at like 90 miles an hour, hit a pigeon, and this just puff of feathers all over the place. And even the announcers are like, well, what do you call that? I call that a foul ball. Okay. Also, one of the key things there, logistics. In any of these stories, logistics is always key. It's either a supply convoy getting ambushed, somebody trying to resupply, somebody running out, and they got a call for it. It's all wrapped around logistics. And if you don't go into the logistics,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It's just that simple. So if you guys are going to actually create your own stories, by all means, do the logistics. So let me downplay this again. Sorry, guys. I am really freaking tired. It's kind of getting hard for me to stay up. I'm actually shooting caffeine right now. Excuse me. All right. In the news, I'm done with the comment section. Like I said, it was really short. But in the news, if you guys hadn't seen it, apparently not only was a UFO caught on video, it was caught on video being shot down. It was also caught on video being retrieved. Well, guess what? This thing is about the size of a basketball, maybe a little bigger. It's silver. It's got all sorts of stuff written all over it. And there's seams. It's not a perfect sphere or anything like that, but it's some sort of funky design. Apparently, ChatGPT can friggin' translate it, which is a giant red flag for me. But somehow they were able to X-ray this thing. If you look inside this thing, for some reason, hold on, this thing is going nuts. Anyways, if you look inside where they X-rayed it, it literally looks like hanging balls, guys. I'm not even kidding. When you see it, you're not going to unsee it. You're just going to be like, that looks like a couple of freaking nuts from an 80-year-old just kind of dangling in the middle of this thing. I'm sitting there like, who designed this thing? This smells of fake. I don't know, but it smells of fake. And I just realized I just talked about hanging balls and how they smell. So yeah, I'll leave that one alone, guys. I kicked that tripwire myself. So, but it's how do you take this stuff seriously if it looks like a nutsack? That's my question. All right. On a separate note, the verdict came in for the Star Wars show, the sci-fi Star Wars show Endor. I didn't know Endor, I thought that was a planet, not a person. I don't watch it, but I listened to the reviews, and apparently when it all came to fruition, it all came together, it was something else. It was actually really good, they said. You know what I see? I see much more long-term storytelling type of stuff where all these different side quests and everything kind of culminate at the end. That's when stuff is good. Just like with the movie like Hot Fuzz and stuff like that. All these little things happening, and then they all came together at the end. And then you had, like the same guys who did End of the World or whatever, World's End or whatever, and all this goofy shit that's happening kind of folds it. Now, that was a bad movie, but it all folded back in at the end. I'm glad they started using that stuff because it makes for a much better story. It might get me interested in watching Star Wars again. And the fact that there's no people going around with their friggin' glowing dildos, whipping them around and trying to whack each other in the face with their glowing dildos, or, some female coming out and all of a sudden she's got dual glowing dildos. And of course the bad guy's got the double-ended glowing dildos. And you're just like, what the fuck? And it's bad enough they're trying to force push each other. I mean, seriously, I don't even have to make up the jokes. The jokes are right there, people. Oh, God, it's like watching football. I mean, the joke is there. A bunch of grown men huddling in tight pants trying to grab each other, tackle them to the ground, or score in each other's end zone. I mean, come on. It's just... I'm not good at making jokes, guys. If I don't have it written down, I can't tell a joke worth of shit. You guys know that. So anyways, Now, the only other things in the media lately have been political stuff. Okay, even the whole thing with the Pope has turned political. This is not a political channel. I don't want to get political. Okay, it just no. If this turned into a political channel, we wouldn't end up having fun. We'd end up screaming at each other, and somebody get pissed. If you want something more aggressive, you go to the Crazy Uncle channel and you look me up there. But honestly, I haven't made a video for that one in like 2 weeks, and it was a fairly short video. So anyway, one last thing before I jump over in the chats. Like I said, not a lot of notes, not a lot of time to jot them down. Those of you who like manga in particular or anime, now this is for you guys out there, okay? So listen real close, okay? When it comes to those dungeons you like so much, do you realize that almost all of them is fourth dimensional space? And I can prove it, okay? You pass through a doorway and you enter from a dungeon to an open air area. You're in an open field, sun, sky, all this. You have not continued into a dungeon. You have actually entered a fourth dimensional space, because once you leave that area on the other side, you are back inside said dungeon underground. That is fourth dimensional space, people. Whenever they do that, it's just that's just what happens. And believe it or not, it hit me like a freaking bag of shit up the nose about maybe 30 minutes ago. I'm like, oh my God, this we can talk about. And this is actually something you can have fun with if that's the type of story you want to create. So anyway, like I said, my notes are really short tonight. And you know, what can you do? Except for, try and chill out for a little bit and try to get this sound. I swear I'm gonna bitch slap that computer one of these times, because it takes forever sometimes for it to spin up and actually do what I want it to do. It shouldn't have to spin up. It's a solid hard drive, for Christ's sake. Jerks. Anyway, let me go in over here, and I see the super chats are here, and most everybody just saying hi, how you doing? Like I said, I'm okay. The thing is, the garden is only about halfway done right now. And then when I'm done with that, I got to start putting more fence posts in. Yay! I'm taking the morning off of doing the garden, and I'm just writing for you guys, because damn it, that's the best time to freaking write. That's when the juices are fresh in the head. That's when I can go and, until I get a hold of, what the hell, I got it written down here, the Hemisync tapes. I might try those just to see if I can start, walking on sunshine in some other dimension or something. That ought to be interesting. Let's see. Oh, the main character is here. There you go. Yeah, all having personal problems on the internet, so it makes you just want to do one of those. Phaser set to stun. Well, I'm having a hard time feeling my legs. Does that count? War Sniper's patting there. Hey, how you doing? Oh, jeez. You guys are going to do this one again, huh? Okay. Douglas says, the reason I'm down in the dumps is because my cousin I grew up with is in the hospice care with... Oh, motherfucker. Dude, I raise a glass to them actually being able to pull through. I don't know what type it is. So, fuck. Dude, I lost my mom to that shit. I take that one personal. You have my sympathies, man. Then nobody deserves that shit. I don't know what else to say on that one at all. I'm gonna go down here to Guard. He says, wow, we coming out with depression swings this week, aren't we? Well, it's there when they mess with the weather and they start to block our sun. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that happens. Erica says the hair color was when I was a little girl. Okay, yeah, I kind of figured that. My brother was almost like bleach blonde when he was a little kid. Now his hair is almost as dark as mine. Kicker is I have more hair than he does now. So let's see. Yep, unboxing Wednesdays now. Well, that's when I go to the PO boxes on Wednesday. It's actually literally between the 2 points I have to go every single Wednesday when I take my dad. Says Guard says, you know what? Maybe next you'll receive as a thing of Fireball from me. Whoo, somebody's gonna try and kill me. You know, I will tell you guys straight up. You send me some good vodka, I will deliberately go out to the liquor cabinet. I will grab the vermouth and the shaker, and I will start making martinis right in front of you. Because I finally figured out how to make them halfway decent. Let's see. Yep. You guys are finding each other on Discord. That's why I hear my computer chiming. You guys know. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at that. And honestly, what's driving me crazy, worse than not being able to have time to get to you guys on Discord, is the fact that I've been trying to figure out that fucking game, and I haven't had time to sit down for 4 or 5 hours and get everything lined up because I wanted you guys to be part of it. Okay, that was kind of the point. And I was going to start up a specific Discord just for that one. And for those of you who don't know, it was going to be on Men of War Assault Squad 2. There was going to be starting 4 teams. One team was going to be an infantry team, so they get a lot more people. One was going to be a mechanized team, so they have a lot less people, but they have more vehicles. The third one was going to be artillery based, so they're somewhere in the middle, or a lot less with the personnel and that, but they actually have artillery. And then the fourth one was they have all the different pieces, but they're the best ones there. However, there's very few. They are the Spartans of that one, which means if they try to go full bore, they're probably toast because they lose too many people. And it's like Risk. You only get so many when you go through. And I will do an entire list of the rules and everything. That was the plan. And I swear, I think I got part of it figured out. But I every time I get to go do something, it just doesn't fucking work. Okay, I digress. Let's see. War Sniper. Fernan is my code. If you have a moment, try it. Okay. Let's see. Demon says, I'm so tired of the rain. Rains all night while I'm at work outside. Oh, shit. Yeah. But no rain all day when I'm asleep. Been that way all week. It's supposed to rain tonight. It should bring the shampoo. I should bring the shampoo to work. Dude, you think that's bad? Wait until you're in the field for almost a month and that rain comes and literally guys are stripping off their stuff as fast as possible, grabbing a bar of soap and like, I got to get the skunk off me, man. I got to get the skunk off me. It's like that scene in the Pacific where the guy's like, hey, wait for me to rinse at least. You know, it got so bad at one point. We saw a river. A bunch of us just dove in and just started like thrashing around. What are you guys doing? We're taking a bath. We don't even care. You can smell yourself stink from 20 feet away. It's disgusting. Get away. I didn't even care for the next probably hour we were walking around in wet boots. I did not care. Let's see. Wars number Sin, I can't remember, but use picture in your wargaming videos. So, okay. But you use pictures in your wargaming so the people who watch have more screen by it. Yeah. But you notice I couldn't do a lot when it comes to the audio. And since okay, let me say this one right, because I just had like 3 thoughts going through my brain at the same time. This channel is mostly audio. Okay, most of you guys listen when you're in the vehicle or at work or something like that. That's what it was designed for, to bring you original content. It wasn't really meant to be a visual channel. To do a visual channel, I would need help from things like ChatGPT and other AI. I've been trying to stay away from AI for as long as possible. I know it's going to happen eventually. I'm not going to have a choice. However, um, trying to find just an image search with the right type of image is difficult, to say the least. If I do the AI and just type in a couple things, adjust it a little bit, and there it is. So I can understand why a lot of people use it. However, I'm still trying to stay away from it. I am, however, trying to do my best with the sound effects. Yeah, you guys can tell I'm tired. I couldn't even get out the word sound effects. Ugh. Anyways, I'm working on it, guys. One thing at a time. You understand what I'm saying. You guys keep saying Fernin, hurt, Fernin for free for. Is it like a Fernin free for all? What's that? Let's see. War Sniper and everyone's going back and forth here. Guard says, there's one NPC in Elden Ring right now that is pissing me off so bad. Like, I don't understand how this guy is able to tap my character in some of the heaviest armor in the game. Maybe you should be wearing a chastity belt if he's trying to tap you. I mean, I'm just saying, especially since right underneath that, you got demons talking about Kanye West kind of losing his mind, and then everything's been friggin' Diddy this and Diddy that on the news. So, okay, I'm starting to get into political, so I'm trying to stay away from that. But yeah, it's the whole thing with Hollyweird is it's weird for a reason. The folks over there, they just have their own ways of doing things, and they are just fucked up. They're fucked up from the ground up, and they just it makes you want to just put a bunch of them in an LRM and just launch them. And oh yeah, right when I need this thing, it doesn't want to work, bitch. But yeah, just try to launch them off into the freaking twilight or something. Anyway, Lena says, I suppose the Pope from Chicago is a thing that can happen. Just like that thing going off right when I didn't want it to. Yeah, I'm aware there is a... Oh, he's talking about the fourth dimension. Yeah, I'm aware there's a dungeon anime about cooking. People can't die if they're traveling in the dungeon. Really? Okay. There's a lot of animes about cooking right now. One was a big hit, and then they all piled on. This is one of the reasons I have trouble actually wanting to sit and watch any of them, because it seems like everybody just does a follow the leader type of bullshit. And unfortunately, I can tell when the AI programs do the same thing with me. They find something that I did that works, and then they did another one. There's an AI one that did, turds is a human thing, isn't it? Or yeah, it's actually a question. Or isn't turds a human thing, or something like that? And it was just bad. It was just seriously bad. I guess since I didn't have it written down where they could copy and paste it, the computer just couldn't do anything. It didn't make any sense. It was all gobbledygook. But anyways, Demon says he released a new song called, I'm not even say that. It's been banned like everywhere, and the only place you can find it is X and Rumble. I was curious if you listened to it. I was surprised because you can. I think I'm not sure. I heard something about it. I don't think I've heard the actual song. Alan saying, thank you for your work, no matter what happens. I appreciate that. I just don't want to give you guys some subprime stuff. You know, it's kind of a, I don't know how you say it. It's kind of a pride thing. I know pride goes before the fall. But just like when I went to the VA to do my final assessment, when my knee pops, I should have just fell over and said, I can't stand, or something like that. because it did. It popped. I froze because I was basically doing a systems check, like, is everything okay? And I just kept walking, saying, yeah, I'm okay. And I barely got my 60%. I'm like, honestly, I should have just told him, like, I can't sleep. I'm starting to drink again. My freaking dingus doesn't work, whatever the hell. But unfortunately, my pride bit me in the ass, and I did the right thing. And yeah. So let's see. Warsnumber says, Sin, I lost ATM total. Oh, I lost a total 10.6 kilograms of weight, and I'm only 101. By the end of the week, I expect to go below 100 kilos, under the 100 kilo. Yeah, dude, you lost freaking, that's 25 pounds, something like that. That's really good. Hey, keep that fucker up, man. That's hard. Dieting is tough, guys. Dieting is always tough. I've done full resets before, and they are very, very difficult. Why? Because you're constantly hungry. Your body's constantly wanting a dopamine hit. Your gut is constantly wanting to do something simple, like grab a bunch of sucrose and call it good. Why do you think sweets fill you up so much? They taste so good. Because your body's like, I just want the easiest way to do things, not realizing that the easy way is going to kill you faster. But yeah, dude, that's cool. That's a lot of weight to burn off, and respect, my friend. Respect. You are bad motherfucker. Demon's still talking about Kanye's feel the anger and emotions in his song. I definitely feel like he made it as a big F you to the world. Granted, because he has some of his own issues. That whole system is coming apart. The people that were holding it together with all their backdoor deals and basically going up the back door of everybody else are being exposed for being the backdoor dealing pieces of shit that they were. So, you know what? Just like Disney, if the whole system collapses, I'm not crying. I'm not crying at all, because they haven't made a decent song since TV came out. You ever heard the phrase TV killed the radio star? Unfortunately, AI is killing the actual writers. That being said, now it's all about what you see, not really what you hear. As long as it has a decent rhythm and some, I don't know, some doped up freak show who's had more dongs in her mouth than a king dong eater, it's just, or more sausage in her mouth than a freaking hot dog champion, and is swinging naked on a wrecking ball, and that's all anybody gives a shit about. So I'm done. Okay, Guard says, yeah, something funny on the Xbox. I was muted for 2 whole days because I said the word ass in group chat. Really? I was muted on Saturday night to Monday night. Couldn't say a damn thing. Really? They got you for that? Have they ever heard these young kids, these racist young kids, just screeching and moaning on there? Holy crap. Erica say, is it just me, or did a guy in an orange shirt just walk? But yes, that's my friend Dave. He's in the back chopping up a tree. The guy loves using the chainsaw. He comes up with, he's actually teaching me how to use a chainsaw again. I hadn't used one in like 30 years, so. Okay, War Sniper saying, I didn't pay attention. Well, again, most people right now are listening, not watching, so don't worry about it. Yeah, Men of War Assault Squad 2. It's again, it was just another idea for a channel, but I wanted to actually have fan base, i.e., you guys, to be part of it. Guard says, I think I can actually get that in Xbox One. I don't even have an Xbox One account. Ever since I found out that I can't play a game on that without having an account, I stopped buying games for it. But plus, I don't have the time anymore. I just don't. War Sniper say, yeah, I saw that on the Pacific movie. Yeah, well, So it was a mini series, but yeah. Let's see. Lena says, I've noticed that there were a War Thunder meme people are doing now. People are landing their jets on the ground and then driving until they find a tank with a 30 millimeter bottle dispenser. Oh, I've never heard it say that way. I mean, one of the things I've seen people do on War Thunder, there's one of the Soviet aircraft that actually uses a very, very powerful thermal optic or sensor. And what they'll do is they'll actually land on a street and they'll shut everything down. They'll just barely idle the engines and they'll wait until they see somebody that's not their friendly going by. And then they just throttle up, flip over, and they're right on the guy's tail. And by the time their guy realizes what's going on, they've already dropped the Fox 2 right up the bunghole. So, yeah, somebody had a bad day. Guard says, but hey, if you ever do get the chance to look at Discord, if God wills, take a look at me taking out one of the hardest bosses in Elden Ring's DLC. Okay. Love the fact that my autocorrect, yeah, I saw that. It changed me with sis. I'm like, is that supposed to be abbreviated something, or are you just trying to aim for my orientation? What the fuck is going on? I think I've disabled autocorrect like 8 times already this year alone, but it keeps turning back. Yeah, they do. They do automatically turn back on. I don't know why they do that. Probably just to piss us off. And you're right, Erica. There is a lot of jokes going around right now. Even Freedom Tunes took a shot at the Pope, and they're very religious folks over there. So, yeah. Let's see. Leonid says, based on the first 6 episodes of Intergalactic Lord Isekai, which, by the way, I like the manga, and it's almost at the very end where I stopped unable to read it anymore because they didn't have anything coming out, and this was like 10 years ago. But it looks like they've adjusted a few parts. I'll give it a little artistic license as long as it stays in. I just realized my hands are still covered in dirt. That I was literally digging holes with my bare hands to plant shit today. Anyways, I just saw it in the video thing. But yeah, most of the characters are kind of dumb. It's not that they're dumb; it's they're all out for themselves, and that's one of the key things. If you find somebody who's not out for themselves on that, then they're actually a lot smarter. The robot is really, really smart. They're not out for themselves; they're out to aid their master, quote unquote. So, yeah. But don't forget, the guy on there has lived a life. He's a full human life at that point. He was like 40 something when he freaking died. So, is what it is. War Sniper says, Sin, all I'm doing is eating dinner and having nothing in the house. No breakfast, no afternoon food, only dinner and having further nothing in the house. Sure, it's hard, but I didn't do this for the easy path. Yep. On that, that's one of the things. If you're going to do a hard reset like that, and it is a hard reset because right now your dopamine receptors are going absolutely fucking nuts. That's where your cravings are coming from. Now be careful because the dopamine receptors in your brain are going to make you want to go for more dopamine wherever they can find it. This is why people that stop smoking start eating a lot because their brain is wanting that dopamine hit. It loves it. So just be careful on that. You end up don't doing anything too crazy. But yeah, one of the key things is keeping the temptations away. And it sounds like that's all you're doing. And pretty soon, women are going to look at you and just kind of go swing towards you because you're losing so much weight. Now, let's see. Guard says, so apparently Nintendo has sank in the newest low. I think I've even seen a game company sink. Yeah, the Nintendo buried itself right after the Wii. And that was like their last hurrah. After that, I don't think they've really come out with anything strong. They're going to be like Sega, where they're just a subsidiary company. Guard says, as of now, you no longer own the Nintendo Switch 2. You just have rights to use it, which can be revoked whenever they feel like it. They can shut down your Switch if you mod or change it. Yeah, that's what really pissed everybody off. And honestly, I wish I could go back and not throw away video games I had, because those actual hard discs for the Xbox and 360 are now worth a lot of money, because those games are far superior. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is still one of the best ones. And
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
something is right, because we have a sir with a $50 super chat. And sir, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. I don't know, have you started on the stuff I sent you with the link and everything? I hope you're doing good, and I'm sure everybody is going to be jumping in. Everybody say hi to sir. He's here. And every time he shows up, it's always a good thing. And I'm sure you're like, well, you made another week. That is a good thing, right, sir? All right. Let me see where I was. Holy sheesh. But thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. You missed the unboxing and everything else. Just to let you know, things have been busy. Have been real busy. Honestly, like I said, if you see the video, you can see it. I still got dirt on my hands from the garden. I didn't even get it. I was lucky enough to change my pants into something clean. Had to throw the other ones in the wash because they were literally from the waist down, just covered in mud. Thankfully, it was just mud. The rubber boots got most of the cow shit. Anyway, thank you again, sir. Very much appreciated. And going up here, War Sniper says, I don't mind joining Sin, but only if you lead us the drill sergeant way. Now, if you're talking about doing the actual 4 teams, I would not be the one choosing where you go. You guys would do that. Okay. I would just be reviewing it as it's going, and I could sit there and go, holy shit, look at that to blow up and stuff like that. Could I do it in more of a drill sergeant voice? I'm sure I could, but so some of the stuff people do that's very, how do I put this? I don't want to say old school, but cartoonish in the way drill sergeants are. Trying to go Full Metal Jacket or something like that. And then they start absolutely making no sense because they just want to keep talking. And it's just like, dude. Anyway, Demon's down here saying Microsoft is cracking down on a lot of shit. They're still pushing DEI and have all sorts of women rules for their games, plus following Nintendo with price hikes on all their products. They suck. Well, I can't say anything. If they want to, go broke, get woke, and then go croak, that's on them. I'm not going to be doing anything on that. I can say this. A few people, when I do the next kind of horror story, I don't want to say horror story. It's, you know what? Fuck it. Remember the one I told you guys about with the summoning circles? I already started writing it. I didn't get very far. I got maybe 3 or 4 pages in, but I'm still working on the first chapter. Trust me, that one can get very dark, and there's certain groups you're going to be like, I thought they were supposed to be the good guys. No such thing as a good guy in those situations. Only people trying to survive. Let's see. Guard says, and you no longer own any of the new Nintendo 2 Switch games coming out. You just own the keys to download them. Again, yes, it just drives me nuts. As of right now, the Nintendo Switch 2 is currently going around $500 in the US alone, and other countries it's reaching close to $600. Now, I thought the Switch actually came with cartridges, or maybe that's the new one. That's the Switch 2. Because if that's the case, I don't have any problems just buying all the games for the first one and giving them to my nephew and say, okay, here you go. He continues with, but oh no, not in Japan. If you go in Japan and get one, it's $300 USD, and the game's between $30 and $50 USD in Japan. Sounds like a price gouging thing to me. Just don't buy it. That's all I can say. Vote with your wallet or with your feet. Demon says, will you not buy the Switch too? Nope. Not going to do it. I just don't. Me personally, I don't have a reason to buy one. The farthest I got with the Xbox One was to play the new Halo games. I didn't even play the last one. I didn't even download it because I was so pissed off with the previous one that I'm just like, why is this so bad? And then I realized they sold it to a company that hates Halo. They hate it with a fucking passion. And why would I watch something that people who are designing it despise it? Doesn't make sense. I mean, even Halo Wars, they got rid of Serena, a nice to look at, but also very quick on the trigger, joking type of AI who was really good at what she did. And they replaced her with something. When I first saw what was being replaced with, I was like, is that a guy? I'm still wondering, honestly. It looks like a current college student. I mean, it's like, what is this? I don't even want to play this game. As soon as I saw this, I don't want to play this game. What the hell? And then, of course, the guy did his big speech and everything. I'm like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, they're just, these companies don't know what they're doing anymore. Let's see. Gart says, but in every country, it ranges between 80 and 136 USD for a game for the Nintendo Switch 2 that you can't even own. Yeah. And there's the sir saying, hi to everybody. Hi there, sir. Let's see. He continues, I told my friend about that, and she said, well, too bad for them. I'm buying a PSP next. I already got a Switch, and I'm happy with the games I have. There you go. There you go. That's exactly the way to do it. 100%. Demon, I'm a gamer, and I don't want a complete failure of a system, but I feel like the only way companies will correct course is if the whole system fails. Unfortunately, that's true. Or the thing is, it's being pushed a certain way and they won't allow it to come back. We'll see how it goes. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not going to sit there and say, mirror, mirror on the wall, tell Snow Yellow her movie sucks all, But you're right. Sometimes the whole thing's got to come down to be redone. I mean, look at Disney. It's hemorrhaging money for the past 15 years, and they still haven't learned. They're just now starting to get it, and they're trying to keep what's our nuts away. But that's not going to happen. Guard saying, sorry hearing you say TV killed the radio star immediately reminds me of the song video called Radio Star. Yeah, that's the actual song. It was back in the 80s. God, I love listening to that Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Okay, well, I never played Vice City, so I can't say too much. There's Demon saying, I said you will not, but I meant you will not fat fingers you. Okay, he must be talking. You know what? I'll bet he's doing a push to talk thing. Let's see. Guard says, you're talking about those racist young kids, and not even an hour before I got the message saying I was muted, some kid, not even joking, like around 13 years old, dropped the N-word at least 57 times. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. Well, let's see. Guard, wasn't even a voice message. Kids legit took the time to type out all 57 times. He was still talking. Wow. Okay, I'll tell him, but I'll tell Dave he says hi, but I think he's about to leave for work here soon. And there's the sir. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I never saw that emoticon with the actual salute in there. It's kind of a British salute too. There you go. Let's see. Oh, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. It's always good to feel good, And hopefully things get even better for you. That's all I can say. Let's see. War Sniper says, also, since this past Monday, I had my first archery lesson, and I loved it. was very accurate with the bow with each shot. I was more accurate, and after I've done all the lessons and the test, I got a paper, making me officially able to use bows. Well, now do you use your fingers, or do you have an actual release? And if you're wondering why I did that, lift the finger, that's the way the releases work, folks. If you don't know, you actually put it on the actual string, you put your finger on, it closes, and then all you have to do is release your finger and it goes. So it's a pretty interesting design, and I don't know who thought it up, but they're a freaking genius. Let's see. Guard also says, I really wish they had an AI that was similar to the one from Halo Wars 5. I didn't know they had a 5. Is that supposed to be 2? From Halo 5. It looks like a World War II plane pilot. As a bomber pilot, by the way, he was dressed like. It's a different harness. It's most people wouldn't see the difference. Don't worry about it. That guy was cool, and he's definitely a smart ass and made him great. Yeah, most of the AIs are smart asses, which actually works well. I mean, come on, how many times did Cortana just say something clever or kooky or something like that? See, he continues, like, legit with the AI characters in Halo 5, they took 5 steps forward, and then Halo Wars 2 came out, and they took like 15 back. You had like 16 AI characters, and they were all unique. Remember, the only reason why the humans won the Halo Wars 2 was because the banished fleet they fought was just a scouting fleet. Yeah, it's true. Actually, I read the first 3 novels. By the way, those are the only ones that are good. And you should see what they did to an actual fleet at a resupply base that they had. It was, well, it wasn't the AI who did it. But one, you never want a human to say those famous last words. Fuck it. You know you're in trouble if a human says, fuck it. Let's see. Demon says, you're right, Sin. Too many companies don't understand and or hate their primary customer base. They don't understand why their sales are hurting. Yeah. And you just want to look at them and go, no shit. I should have a button here for no. I'm going to have to remember that. I'm going to put that down. Button, no shit. I'm just going to have that one, maybe put that one right next to, or something like that. Just not next to.
Swing.
Wouldn't quite work. I actually have them in lines here. Let's see. Yeah, they look down on the original fans like we are trash. Yeah, they do that. And one of the things, and I actually hear my dad talk about this a lot, is the fact that what happened is you had a generational switchover. Whenever you have a generational switchover of the people who have been in there for a long time are finally like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done, I want to leave. They've usually been in there for about 30 years, but they want the young, fresh ones in. So what happens is you actually skip a generation over to the next one. So it's literally going from like boomers to millennials. That's a big fucking jump. And a lot of things that millennials do, boomers would never do, and vice versa. So they're looking at each other like, what the hell? But the thing is, what happens when you switch it over from boomers to millennials, but your customer base is still boomers? You don't understand your customers anymore. It's just the way it is. Let's see. Guard says, another reminder, there's no other group in the world that hates Nintendo fans more than Nintendo themselves. Quite literally goes for all gaming companies. Yeah, pretty much. They demand we fully support them and then shut up. Here, just take my money. They think it's a scene from that really bad show. Here, just take my money. But we are no longer quiet and docile anymore. We are tired of being kicked right in the nuts. Let's see. Guard continues with his, says, and there's no group that hates one game group more than anything than the very companies the groups apart. Yeah, you guys are saying the same thing in different words. You are 100% accurate on this. It just, for some reason, they hate their customers, and I don't know why. Apparently, they're getting subsidized somewhere. Maybe BlackRock is going up there and saying, hey, you bear your company and we'll give you this many billions of dollars. It's the only thing I can think of. Let's see. Guard says, had to resend all the messages because my dumbass actually deleted the main one, but they screwed up the Lilo and Stitch movie and killed it before it even had a chance to get its first trailer. Okay, I know nothing of that one. I didn't even watch the original Disney because that was around the time everybody in my family was having a bunch of little kids and they wanted me to watch all these Disney movies, and I didn't want to be the creepy guy in the movie theater. Thank you, no. So let's see. There are a lot of messages got deleted. Yep. Guard continues with his, but you know how Lilo and Stitch takes place in Hawaii with Hawaiians. Yes. Well, nope, not anymore. That's too white. She's now going to be Asian or Hispanic. What? What? I'm just going to quote the guy already. What? What the fuck? I don't want to scream too loud. I got other people in the other room, but yeah, that doesn't make sense because you can find a Polynesian or something like that who fits the role. That doesn't make sense. Let's see. He continues, the two aliens that were hunting Stitch, well, they're no longer going to be CGI like they said they were. They're going to be two guys in suits because budget constraints. And last but not least, several major scenes in the movie, specifically the one that talks to you at the importance of family, are replaced with a talk about race. So, Lilo and Stitch, the movie, that teaches the importance of family is now Lilo and Stitch, the movie, that teaches you the importance of being racist. Wow. My head hurts even more than when we started. Yes, I've had a migraine for 2 days, and now my head really hurts. I guess for them it's a
Congratulations, you played yourself
situation. And I guess I don't know, hopefully they lose a lot of money so we can sit there and go, and perhaps, just maybe, they'll learn.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
But the thing is, they've been fucked up from the ground up for years so far, so it is what it is. Leading it down here saying, maybe I'll find some new anime watch during the spring season. Perhaps. Let's see. Guard continues with his. He says, gotta love how Disney can take a solid diamond and turn it into a shit sandwich with one touch. They're kind of the opposite of Midas. Instead of everything turning to gold, it turns to crap. Let's see. Guard also says, I made this as a joke at work when I said, instead of using a handgun like you casuals for self-defense, I'm going to use a flare gun instead because I like me assailants all toasty and crispy. Which, by the way, usually doesn't kill all that fast unless you hit right on the heart or through the eye or in the mouth, actually. But even then, there is one video where a guy got shot in the mouth with a flare and he spit it out because it really depends on the angle and a whole bunch of factors on that. You fucked up his mouth because it's still magnesium burning, but he was still alive. Also, the fact that when he spit it out, he dove into water, that probably helped a bit. Let's see. Demon says, I'm glad I didn't get my hopes up for Lilo and Stitch. I didn't really care to watch the movie anyway. Unfortunately, I've lived in Hawaii, and I can have my fill of the folks there. Now, I've been in some places of the world that are extremely racist, but most of them are racist because they're segregated very much. You go to places like Japan or China or stuff like that, they almost never see a other race except for in the touristy areas. That's it. And They just have to speculate based on that. And because of that, they tend to treat you all the same way they saw the first guy. So if the first person was a drunk falling over, puking on himself, they think all this group is all nasty and puking on themselves and everyone's a drinker and yada, yada, yada. If they see one of you reading a book, oh, all of you are intellectuals. But that's just lack of interaction. Hawaiians mix with people all the time, and they are still some of the most racist people I've ever met in my life. Not all of them, just a bunch. Okay, Lena says, I know something about the movie Wish. It's a prequel to Snow Yellow. Is it? I don't think I saw the movie Wish, so I can't say too much. Let's see. Does the new Lilo movie have a Boeing 747 stunt, or is it animated? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Demon answers. It was changed to a spaceship in the original because of 9/11. Okay. I could see that. Yeah, the original's on DVD. It's pretty much the only way you're going to get the original. Oh, yeah. Demon says, speaking of racist, all the shit happening in South Africa, glad I don't live there. The only thing I can say, I'm not even going to talk about the race on that one. All I'm going to say is if you read the actual notes from the captains that landed there, the diaries from people that started to colonize down there and everything, there was nobody down there. I mean, it was just wide and open. And I mean, the weather was kind of harsh. I mean, you're down there on the southern tip of Africa. It gets rather windy. So if you're not ready for that, you're in trouble. But yeah, now that a whole bunch of folks are leaving, we'll see what's going on. I mean, I hope they don't go full Zimbabwe, because that place, yikes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just do yourself a favor, check that one out, and you're just going to be like, holy shit. There's a reason why you can actually get a Zimbabwe note, a piece of money that's $1 billion. I'm not even kidding. But like I said, I'm trying to stay away from the politics as much as I can. And unfortunately, like I said, I'm not feeling all too hot today. I am so freaking exhausted. It's been just over an hour. I've already chugged one of these sodas. I'm looking at the other one, but if I drink that one, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. And it looks like we're already down all the way to the end of the chat box. So I am going to end up calling it early tonight, folks, because honestly, I didn't have a lot of time to prep for this. I had maybe 20 minutes. It was just a long day, a bad day. It's been a long week. Yeah, you're right, Demon. It's going to be a short one because I'm out of notes, and we've already covered pretty much everything that happened this week. Like I said, I try to stay away from the politics. That's a whole nother channel. I'll do that on my Crazy Uncle channel one of these times. But for right now, I do have to say before I go, thank you, supporters. Guard, Douglas, Erica, Demon, Sir, all of you. Thank you very much. As a reminder, for everybody who has sent in any supers last week, you are still going to get your shout outs through Saturday this week, because I didn't put much out this past week. I tried, God help me, I did, but I didn't get a lot out. And I'm not going to screw you guys over. Like the man says, I'm a man of my word. And I'm sure a few of you just went, really? Then why so serious? So, yeah. Let me see what a few people jumped in here. Let's see, Guard says, I feel like the worst part of Lilo and Stitch movie is that it wasn't the director's choice to make all those decisions. It was Disney themselves. Okay, Kathleen Kennedy got involved. That explains everything. The director wanted a scene-for-scene remake. Honestly, if I want a scene-for-scene remake, they just release it in 3D, just like How to Train Your Dragon, which I honestly, I love the animated movie or CGI movie. I will not see the live-action movie unless somebody pays for me to go and pays for my gas or diesel and pays for my food when I'm there. So I'm just going to end it here, guys, with a safety brief. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink, drive, feel free to beat his ass. It is better to explain to the cops that you broke your buddy's nose to stop him from drinking and driving, then explain to his wife why you let him drink and drive and end up wrapping around a telephone pole. Not so fun. If your little soldier is going into the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. You guys know where I'm going with that one. If you're going to be using some of the hard stuff, don't use it unless I'm there, because come on, man, you got to share. And aside from that, be careful on the roads, guys, because it is getting to the point where all the critters are having babies, which means if you see one critter dart across the road, chances are there's another one right behind it. Those of you who live in areas with deer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't need to fuck yourself up. You don't need to fuck your car up. You don't need to mess any of that stuff up, because you need to be here next week on Syntax Live. And hopefully this thing works, as this is your host, and I am currently
ejecting.